Hi everyone, welcome back to my football coaching channel. This is now my third video on the art of carrying the ball. And this particular video, I was inspired to do it after I stumbled upon an incredible stat from FBREF, and I just had to share it with you. Last season, Ruben Dias carried the ball over an astonishing 6,600 yards. That's just slightly over 6,000 meters, making him the number one ball carrier across the top 5 European leagues for distance traveled with the ball. So let's dive in and take a look at when Ruben Dias runs with the ball.
The first reason he carries the ball is to try and engineer 2v1 or 3v2 situations, because by doing this he can draw a defender towards him, which would then open up passing lanes to an unmarked teammate. And this tactic shines particularly when he finds himself in an outside back position. Take this example. Here he spots a gap to exploit and sees a chance to team up with Bernardo Silva for a 2v1. So he charges forward, pulls the defender in, and then deftly slips the ball to Silva, which ultimately leads to a goal. The second reason he may choose to carry the ball is to narrow the opposition, because by driving inside, it forces the opposition to get more compact, which then frees up space on the outside. For instance, here, against Luton, he drives forward, which forces their right midfielder to move centrally in order to stop any passes through midfield, but by doing this, it then opens up a passing lane on the outside.
34 matches this season, 4 goals, 7 assists. Diaz, former Benfica man, lifting.
Of course, it can work the other way too. When he found himself wider, he sometimes chose to run forward with the ball in order to shift the opposition wide towards his side so he could then free up space to play in the middle.
We're a little tentative in the first part of this game.
The third reason is not necessarily to penetrate round or through the defence, but to simply gain territory, show assertion and force the opposition back. Now, this is in sharp contrast to Brighton centre-backs last season, who were told to stay on the ball in order to encourage pressure and open up passing lanes. Instead, Dias's philosophy, and along with his Manchester City teammates led by Guardiola, is to dominate the opposition. Don't give the opposition a chance to go forward, even when they're defending. So what they do is almost like a boxer who shows aggressive manoeuvres in order to force the opponent back to the ropes. So what Dias does in a football sense is he travels forward gradually so the momentum of the opposition go back rather than forward. Now, I must stress that the key when you're choosing to carry the ball is not to get boxed in, because sometimes opposition teams might set a trap and give you space to carry the ball in order to box you in, which ultimately leads you to lose possession of the ball. And quite often what happens is that as they're carrying the ball, like here, it is too risky because there are more opponents than teammates. And so if you drive forward with the ball, you're going to get trapped and locked in. So in order to avoid this, you have to make sure you keep your head up to scan the environment so you know when to release the ball. You also have to make sure your touches are always into safe spaces so you don't get tackled, and also it will give you the opportunity to cut away from the defenders if the space disappears. For instance, here we can see Dias looking to exploit space through the middle, but the opponent recovers and reduces space. So what he does next is he cuts away and carries the ball inside to try and force the opposition to move and create passing gaps, but the space then goes away. And he recognised this early, and as his touches were always into safe spaces, he then checks back, and it's all complete under good control of the ball.
So that's the very short analysis for when and how to run with the ball like Ruben Dias. And do you know what my greatest tip is for centre backs? Is to run the ball slowly at slow or medium speed. You don't need to do it like super fast, like a headless chicken. You can just go slow, nice and easy, so you can observe what's happening around you and make the best decision. Anyway, I hope you found the video interesting. Take a look at some other videos that I have, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you press subscribe. Ciao, ciao. Bye for now.